Hi, I'm Rachel from Rachel's Guest Tutor at Pretty Witty Cakes, and in today's little freebie tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a really fun and easy sugar pom-pom. Now these little sugar pom-poms, it's a lot easier than making a sugar flower, and it's really super simple, and it would be really fab if you were making like a little gift cake for a birthday. Maybe you had some bunting on there or some polka dots, so some little pom-poms would finish off that look. I've just put a selection of lovely coloured ribbon here that you might want to use for a pretty birthday party, just to give you a bit of inspiration. I've chosen a nice pale pastel yellow for my pom-pom today, but you could do a whole variety of different colours, pastel pinks, pastel yellows, greens and blues. And if you made a whole array of these in all different sizes, it would look really fantastic on your party cake. So I'm going to show you how to make a pom-pom that's this size. You may at home have a set of these circular cutters. I have a set of slightly smaller circular cutters. So all these different cutters would work really well for your different size pom-poms. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to use today. I've already rolled out a little bit of floral paste in the colour that I want to use, and I've cut out my first base ring for my pom-pom, and I've given this some time to dry. It's not dry completely, still got a little bit of flexibility to it, but it's formed a really nice dry surface. It wouldn't matter if it had almost fully dried, because what we're going to do is we're going to make some ruffles and we're going to stick them onto this with some edible glue. But if it's still got a little bit of flexibility, then that helps the glue adhere to it a little bit better. Okay, so I pre-did that. So I'm just going to roll out this little bit of paste here. So a bit of Trex on my board is going to help me do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut a number of little circles. So I'm going to roll this out quite nice and wide. So depending on how quickly you work, you can roll your piece of paste out quite nice and wide, and we're going to need 5 or 6 little circles to fill up our pom-pom. Okay, and we don't want our ruffles to be too thick, so I've rolled this out to about 1 millimetre in thickness, and then I'm going to move that over to this side where I'm going to put a little bit of corn flour just so I can cut out. Okie dokie. And then, this is the cutter I used for my first circle. I'm going to choose a cutter that's ever so slightly smaller to make my ruffles. So I'm going to cut out, see how many we get out of this sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, we don't quite get 6. We can roll out another one in a moment. And then each of these little circles, there's nothing too technical to do with this. Just take your circle and just fold it in half, and then just give it a couple of pinches. You could just fold it once like that. So we're forming like a little sort of cone, and then I'm going to put that in here to just start to dry. Okay, so with each of my little circles I'm going to fold it. You could fold it a little bit more, so I twiddle that one round so we get a little bit more of a ruffle, and we're just going to sit each of our little folded ruffles in here. So we want them to start to set off but not dry completely, and that way they're going to hold their shape when we squish them all together. Okay, so I've got 8 little ruffles in my spongy tray, and they've had 3 or 4 minutes to start to set off. So the reason we like to give them a bit of time to set off is that when we go to stick them on our base disc, they don't all squash one another and we lose that little ruffle. Okay, so they've all had a moment now. Then I'm going to grab some edible glue. I like to keep my edible glue in these little pots. And then I'm going to put some edible glue around the base that I've created in the same colour. And then we're going to gently take each of our ruffles and bring them over. Let's move that out of the way. Bring them over to our circle, and then just take your ruffle so that it sits just at the edge of the circle, and then using any kind of tool, a ball tool or this little tool, just squish down the end so that it sticks onto that glue, and then work your way round. So that they start to form a nice little dome. just press those ends down gently so that they're going to start to stick onto the glue. I think we can squeeze one more in there. Okay, so that's all of our outside ruffles, and keeping them all level with that outside edge is going to help make our little pom-pom look really cute. And then we're just left with the middle bit, so I'm going to pop a little bit of extra edible glue around there just so that we can slide in our two pom-poms for the middle, two little ruffles. Okay, and then gently use your tool just to push it down so that you know it's stuck to that edible glue. Make sure that your little pom-pom is all in forming a lovely little dome. And if I lift that up, once that's dried completely, if you were to stick that on the side of the cake with a whole different variety of lovely different colours, and maybe some bunting at the top, that would make a really fantastic party cake.